Receiving some of its funding from the LVCVA is Las Vegas Events. The Nevada legislature established the private not-for-profit corporation in 1983, tasking it with producing and supporting events in Las Vegas, Mesquite, and Laughlin. Here with us is its long-tenured president, Pat Christensen, who's set to retire at the end of this year. Pat, thank you for coming in. Why are you hanging it up?
Well, it's time. I'm at that age where I've got a couple grandkids and want to do more of that and less of the structured daily work.
You had told me off camera you have a picture of you at the Thomas & Mack. You opened the Thomas & Mack in '83, was it?
Yes.
And you have a picture of you and your wife then?
I have a picture of my wife, my daughter, who was less than a year old at the time, on the dirt, and then I have another picture last year of my daughter, my wife, and my granddaughter.
So that's how long you've been around, overseeing the signature event there at the Thomas & Mack, which is the National Finals Rodeo, the signature event of Las Vegas Events as well.
Yes.
How big of a deal has the NFR been to Las Vegas?
I don't know if you can put it into words. You look back in 1985 at Vegas at that time, and what you used to do is you would furlough employees and do maintenance during that time because there was nobody coming to town. So it filled that hole, and for about 15 years it really kept those, it grew those weekends. Now it's become so big that it and other shows now are creating the first 2 weekends in December, pretty productive calendar months.
How would you describe, and did you expect the explosion of sports in Las Vegas that has happened since you have began working in events and sports in Vegas?
It's the event part of it's not so surprising. The professional, anyone that says they would have foreseen NHL and NFL here and the possibility of the NBA is dreaming, considering where we were back then. But that stretch was a real important one for Las Vegas.
Where were we? Why was it surprising?
It was all the misperception of gaming and Las Vegas, and now it's gone.
All right, you are stepping down. What events do you still want Las Vegas to pursue that would fit in with Las Vegas Events' mission? Will you describe that for me, how you're different than LVCVA as well?
Yeah, I think the LVCVA pursuing the Formula One, the Super Bowl, the Final Four, us landing those events is critical. LVE is more focused on events that we can bring to town and then every year, secure the event and then ensure their success, like the NFR, Rock and Roll Marathon, NBA Summer League, these conference basketball tournaments. So that's the partnership between the destination and Las Vegas Events.
Over the years, some of the most memorable events for you?
Well, obviously the National Finals Rodeo. I look back at '85. What Thomas & Mack at that time wasn't finished when it was supposed to be a 15,000 seat venue. Somewhere along the line they added 3,000 seats, but did not add the additional funding for the rest. So when it opened, it had no pavement, no concession stands. They were plumbed for electrical, plumbing, no suites. The concourse looked like a garage, and what the university did is made the decision to go do special events to generate the revenue so that it could it could finish the building and operate without more state support, and that worked. The busy level of events meant we finished the building without any additional funding, and operated in the black.
Tim Keener is set to take your place. He currently serves as the Vice President of Event and Ticket Operations for Las Vegas Events. What have you discussed with him about his goals?
Well, I think let's keep going. I think Tim will take it to the next level. Vegas is not going to quit growing. It's going to continue to evolve. And our Las Vegas Events will be a part of that, and Tim will lead that team.
What would be an ideal event for Las Vegas Events to secure that continues coming here, that still isn't here yet?
I think it's different than the LVCVA because a lot of ours, the NBA Summer League before we started to work with them wasn't an event. It really wasn't an event. So a lot of it is creation. A lot of it is taking things never been done before. And we've got a couple ideas. I really can't share them here, but they start as in this incubation period. And 2-3 years later, you develop them and then bring them to the destination and work with all the hotel properties to ensure their success. So the NBA Summer League, yes, it was in a couple other destinations, but it didn't draw more than 500 to 1,000 fans. The concept, and again, it wasn't two promoters that approached us on it. Wasn't our idea, but we immediately started to work with them on developing it. And it went from, I think we had maybe 6,000 the first year to 100, and I think we're close to 140,000 over the 10 days now or 11 days. So there's a great example of a signature event.
You were bringing events to the Thomas and Mack, also to Sam Boyd Stadium. I wonder what your thoughts are on what should happen with Sam Boyd Stadium. It's currently shuttered, hasn't been in use since the pandemic when some college football teams were using it.
You know, I'll never forget the 5 years we did the Grateful Dead at the stadium. It was gratifying, not because I'm a big Deadhead fan, but producing or working with them to bring that and have that work here spurred another dozen stadium concerts. But you know, I think of the NFR and the Grateful Dead probably are the two events that stick out. Sam Boyd Stadium, it's had its day. And you've got the Legion Stadium is one of the best stadiums in the world right now. So I think the best place for Sam Boyd Stadium would be, I mean, just raise it. I don't see anyone being able to afford the operation to do events there.
Pat Christensen, thank you for your time.